Well, our very special guest today on Absolutely Famous is Barbara Church. Now, Barbara is a much-loved friend of many, including myself. She's a mum, a grandmother, now a great-grandmother. And at 83, when most people have put their feet up and leading a pretty quiet life, that's certainly not the case for this lady. She leads a very full life back in Blenheim, New Zealand, still travels, and that Barbara can do all this is even more amazing because she's got a pretty major obstacle in life. She's almost completely blind. Barbara, welcome to Absolutely Famous. It's a pretty amazing story yours. You're Aussie born, but very much a Kiwi now.
Very much, yes.
So you're born in Melbourne, but just tell us about what brought you to New Zealand.
Yeah, I was born in Melbourne and lived in the suburb of Elwood. Spent summers swimming by the beach and winters in St Kilda, going to Luna Park, the pictures, ice skating, and then I got the wanderlust at the age of 20. Didn't want to go too far away, so came over to beautiful New Zealand.
So what was the attraction for New Zealand? It's because it wasn't too far away, so you weren't taking too much of a risk.
That's right, I wanted to be able to get home quickly if need be. Yes.
Well,
but the beauty of the country kept me travelling here.
And of course, you met some bloke with beautiful brown eyes, and that was the end of you.
That was,
As far as going back home is concerned.
That was the end of that, yes.
And the lucky young man was Ross. Where did your late husband, where did you meet Ross?
In Invercargill, yes. Going to a dance with a group of young ladies from the hotel I worked in, and they knew some rugby guys, and we were introduced. Ross invited me to dance, and that was the beginning of a 40-plus-year-old relationship.
That's amazing. So it was a sort of a working holiday in New Zealand, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I worked in a local hotel as a cook.
Yeah.
I couldn't cook a darn thing, but I soon learned. Yes. Under the guidance of the chief cook. Yeah.
Did you get homesick when you first went to New Zealand? Like, did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a younger brother. He's never left Melbourne, but no, there's too much adventure, too much fun, too many young people. Not so much homesickness, no. And there was only letter writing in those days. Phone calls were far too expensive. Yeah. But no.
Oh, that's amazing. And so did Mum and Dad miss you, or did they?
Oh, they did, but they were able to come. They came over to New Zealand quite often, every year or two for many years, until my father died prematurely in 1970. Those 10 years they came every year or 2 years, so I wasn't totally isolated from my family.
So when you met Ross, did you go back home first before you got married, or how long before you got married?
No, we got married in Invercargill. He had wonderful parents that took me to their hearts and treated me like their own daughter, so that made life much easier. And Ross's mum was a beautiful nana, and his dad liked me, so that made things very easy for my life. Yeah, I just went from one family to another family.
Beautiful. And it's sort of love at first sight by the sound of it, was it?
Oh,
for both of you?
Yeah. Yeah, for both of us. Yeah.
So you took a leap of faith and it paid off.
Yeah, I thought I was a bit crazy to start with, but no, it paid off. Yes. We got through good times and hard times, and yes.
And when you came from Melbourne to New Zealand, were there many other people of your age doing that like there is now, or?
Oh, yes, there was quite a lot, yes. Although I travelled from Sydney to Auckland by myself, I was met by a group of Melbourne friends who were working holiday in Auckland, yes. And with another friend, that's what we did. We travelled from Auckland down to Invercargill, sightseeing all the way.
Fantastic. And of course, your married life started in Invercargill, and then you and Ross had 3 beautiful children, Ellen, your daughter Robyn, who we're here at Airlie Beach celebrating her 60th, and Barry. And so that was fantastic, a wonderful time for you.
Oh, absolutely brilliant holiday, and the boat trip to celebrate Robyn's birthday was fantastic. Smooth sailing, excellent crew, delightful dinner, great company. We laughed and talked and laughed all evening. It was a great celebration.
Yeah, a lot of stories. Of course, sport played a big part in your household, didn't it? Ross was a very keen rugby man, I remember, and the boys and Robyn all played sport.
Yes, yeah. Alan was a good rugby player, better than average, and Robyn turned out to be a good little netballer. And after we came to Blenheim, one teacher encouraged a girls' cricket team, and I got behind that and made Robyn a white cricket dress because the girls still had to wear the whites, and I was right behind that. Yes.
Fantastic. I didn't know Robyn played cricket. That's a new one.
Yes, yeah, for 2 years at intermediate school.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what took you from Invercargill to Blenheim? What was the motive for that move?
After 15 years, I got fed up with the cold weather. And it wasn't the summers that drove me mad, it was the winters, because they went for about 11 months. And I said, I can't stay here. And there again, because of those beautiful brown eyes, I didn't want to leave him behind, but we all came to Blenheim in 1974, and after a couple of years the whole family said it was the best thing we ever did.
Yes, slightly warmer weather up in Blenheim, especially in the summer.
Yes, we love getting out as family for picnics, and we followed. Alan played softball here in Blenheim, so sitting outside in the summer watching Alan play softball and even going to rugby in the winter wasn't such a hardship.
No, and of course Ross was pretty involved with the Opawa Rugby Club, am I right there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. We spent a lot of time at the club rooms, often as a family, children and all, lots of kids running around.
Yeah, just like I remember quite often going down to Lansdowne Park to cover club rugby for the newspaper and sitting in the car with Ross on the old embankment there and chatting rugby. He loved it.
He was very knowledgeable about it
He
too.
was.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course you've got. We talked about your health issue, your eyesight. I mean, you're almost completely blind now, Barb.
Almost. I think I've got about 1%. I can see light. And I think I don't know whether I'm like a moth or an old crow. I follow light and anything shiny, and that's about all I see. And all I need to travel with is somebody's arm. It's influenced my mobility, that without a guide dog and without an arm to hold on to, it's restricted my mobility a lot, but my friends and family understand a lot, and even when I take a husband's arm, I always give the husband back.
Yeah, that's good. Good on you. Good stuff. And of course this was a gradual thing because you were born with a condition. Did you know about that?
No, nobody knew about it.
And what was the condition, Barb?
It's called retinitis pigmentosus, but commonly referred to as RP because they're two very big words.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to say those late on a Saturday night.
No, not even on a Saturday morning.
Exactly. So when did you realise there was something wrong with your eyesight? How old were you?
I was 32 and I couldn't see coffee tables or anything low down. It restricted my peripheral vision, so I couldn't see much. I could only see straight ahead, nothing below my waist, and not a lot above my head, or left or right. It keeps closing in. But the sight I do have is straight ahead.
Yeah, so at what point, you were telling me before, it deteriorated fairly quickly at one point?
From the age of 32 when I was diagnosed, it was a very gradual downhill slide, which enabled me to upskill and until 62, and then it deteriorated rapidly. Yeah. And for 10 years I had beautiful, magnificent guide dogs, but when you get older, they become difficult to manage.
Yeah, I remember one particular guide dog you had for a long time. You're pretty attached to them?
Oh, very attached. I adored them both. Ira had attitude and Nemo had platitude. They were brilliant dogs, and we could walk all over Blenheim. They were so good. Yes.
So the fact that it was a gradual thing, losing your eyesight, did that enable you to adapt as you went along?
Yes, it did. Yes, yeah. And it gave me confidence to be vocal and ask for help.
Yeah.
Yes. I hate it, but I accept it, and I will ask for help.
Yeah. So emotionally, was it a stage in your life where you got a bit down about it, or you've just managed to cope with it as it's happened?
No, I just quietly accept it. Of course, you get angry at times, but never publicly, and not too often. It's easier to enjoy life than be grumpy and growly about it and sulk at home. While you're happy, people will take you out. If you're angry, people won't invite you out. So I chose the happy road, and my friends often invite me out.
Well, you've got a full social life back at home. It hasn't, from looking outside, and it hasn't inhibited you very much at all.
No, I'm a prolific reader of audiobooks, and have joined a book club recently, and the ladies in that group are just delightful to me and encourage me to read more. And I play keyboard and enjoy that. Music is my mental health provider. If I do get grumpy or angry, I play music, and that sets me on the road to cheeriness much better, an easier way than taking pills. Don't take pills, just play music, and that makes me happy.
Wonderful advice. It works for me too, just quietly.
I could imagine that.
Yeah. So, and you live at home, so you still, do you get help at home?
I get housework help and shopping help by a wonderful lady, yes, who goes the extra mile for me, keeps my home beautifully, and advises me on shopping and takes me to appointments, and I get gardening and lawn mowing help, and that's all I need.
That's pretty much it. And like, here we are at Airlie Beach in North Queensland, so you've travelled over here, as we said, for Robyn's birthday. How do you get on with the actual travel in the plane? You travel obviously with somebody?
I either travel with a friend or use the airport or airline facility of Meet and Assist, and those young people are very kind. They know what they're doing, and if they don't, that's when I become vocal and get the help, but that doesn't happen very often, and I couldn't travel without Meet and Assist.
No. So overall, for somebody who is just about completely blind, do you think enough is done to assist people like yourselves?
Oh yes, yeah. The Royal New Zealand Blind Foundation are a brilliant organisation, and they have all sorts of different things to offer sight impaired and blind people. They're an excellent organisation to help you. They teach you domestic skills, orienteering skills, and of course the wonderful guide dog services. So no, as much as possible is done for blind people in New Zealand.
Yeah, and physically you look after yourself, you exercise daily, and you've got a bit of a routine there?
Yes, I do a bit of an exercise routine, yes, yeah. And there again, listening to Spotify to keep me motivated, to keep me going, yes.
So what do you do typically exercise-wise? What's your normal routine?
Just a 10-minute routine of moving arms and legs and
Yep.
swinging about to the rhythm of the music, and do that daily for 10 minutes. And I'm happy to go for lots of walks with friends, yes, and love walking in and out of shops. It's good exercise.
I think Robyn's got that trait off you. She's learnt a lot off you. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So the key to your longevity and good health is obviously you keep your mind active and your body active as well.
Yes, that's so, yeah. And everything in moderation, yes. Don't overindulge on eating. Try not to overindulge on social occasions and usually achieve it. So all things in moderation. Don't sit down. That's the last thing you need to do. Keep going and keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yes.
And of course you've become a great grandmother recently. How cool's that?
Absolutely brilliant, because
Your granddaughter Ashley had a little baby, Remy, beautiful boy.
and he's here with us now, keeping us on the go. And there again, Remy and I will go for a walk this afternoon and have a look. Maybe we'll get into a shop, maybe I'll buy, who knows.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Barb, it's been wonderful to talk to you, and you're going to be a star on Absolutely Famous. You're a star in life, so congratulations on all you've achieved and your beautiful family, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, John.